I'm still trying to figure out the angles with road mic. Really messes with the background or whatever. So today we are going to be doing a little bit of content farming, not really, but I saw some really cool today on X or Twitter. I still don't know what I'm going to call it. I just want to call it Twitter, but X does sound kind of cool. It's a cool post on a cool tier list, and let's go ahead and do that tier list because it is very interesting. It shows off basically every single concept that we've had throughout the game. Things like limit breaks, orders, strides, all that fun stuff. Let's have fun. Let's go ahead and do this. If you guys enjoy this kind of video, make sure to leave a nice little like and I will do more tier lists in the future. But shout out to the boy. Leave a link down to this list if you guys want to do it below. I'm not sure if this is the person Defective Cycle or just the person that has randomly shown me, but shout out to them. Alright, to start it. From the top, we have perfect guards. You see these in almost every deck. Well, you better see them in every deck if you're playing this right. The discard a card from your hand, nullify any attack. I mean, solid. At the beginning, it was whatever. There was actually a point in the game where I ran like maybe 2-3 perfect guards because they're super freaking expensive. Back then, you didn't really have the big power gaps that we do today, but because things like overtraders exist, I just have to put an S tier. You can move it down to A because who knows what we're about to see, but I feel like this is an auto S tier. It's just like you're automatically nullify any attack. 100% stable. If you don't run 4 of these, what is wrong with you? Moving on, we got Forerunners. Interesting. I always been a Forerunner fan. That said, I guess I should explain it for people that don't know Forerunners. Forerunners basically are a kind of starter that when you ride over them with your grade 1, it comes right out. So it's like, yo dog, what up? I'm a free rear guard or whatever. There's a lot of combo stuff. Right here, your boy Barkle had a way superior ride into a blaster blade. Where'd you go? There you are. Yeah, there's a lot of combos, a lot of stuff. Just getting a free booster is always pretty nice, but honestly, I don't think it's too worth it. Again, it's very early in T-list, so we might be moving stuff around, but I feel like it was kind of gimmicky. Having this extra rear guard is nice, but it's not necessary. You can do other stuff. Get out of here, ad. I wish I could cover it with my ad. I might have an ad down here the whole time. Speaking of which, just want to point you up here to these tabs that we have open right now. Check me out on TCG Player for selling card game stuff, or if you don't want to help support me that way, ko-fi.com/RayonScavenge. Just drop me a tip. It's kind of like a weird Patreon that doesn't have any bonuses. I need to set up maybe a Patreon, but it'd be cool if you want to help support me and not give me the money on trading card game stuff. Anyways, back to this. Alright, we have Mega Blast. Oh, this was fun. I don't know if we rank too high as like competitive thing, but it is a fun thing. Basically, this is a cost, I'd say it's like precursor to Limit Break if you think about it that way. Was it like Soul Blast 8, Counter Blast 5? Because you're basically committing everything to this blast. Usually has some sort of super game ending finisher, but I mean, it's just so hard to get there, honestly. It's really cool. This one particular, Mr. Miserable restands your board, and there's a whole bunch of other ones that do awesome shenanigans stuff, but like, it's just so hard to get there. Especially the 5 counter blast. For 8 soul, yeah, you can do, especially in Dark State deck, but you have to commit your entire deck, your entire thing, to just popping this off once. So don't know if I rate too high. There were some cool ones, but it is a lot of cost to get there. Especially stuff F tier, maybe D, I don't know. Probably better ones. You get a guard that has a little bit more shield. I mean, back then, yeah, it was cool because you had some extra guard. Yay. Same thing I said with perfect guards, that like you don't always have the biggest numbers in the early format, but power scaling quickly ramp this out of the way. I will say, as a Vanguard player, 15k intercepts galore is like that's what half the deck is. Because that, we may move it up because extra guard is partially what makes that deck good, but also partially what makes it whatever. So we're just gonna get my Forerunner for now. Red Mega Blast for some reason. Ride chains. This is B tier, C tier. It goes over Forerunner. That's what I'm trying to do. Ride chains. I think it's like kind of the precursor to what we have in the ride line, the whole fact that you have like a card that rides over this to do a special effect and a special gimmick. Of course, way back in the day, we keep on saying that. I've been playing since day one. I'll show off more, but this is literally a blaster blade from the Japanese trial deck that my friend got from Japan. A lot of cool shenanigans. This in particular, I love freaking Full Bow as an example here because one of my favorite decks from OG Vanguard was literally the Blaster Dark ride lines. Like ride Javelin over this, go fetch out your Blaster Dark for guaranteed grade 2 ride, and then you just slap a freaking Garmor on there because we're doing Cross Nation, and Garmor just fetch cards out of deck. You run both Garmors. It's basically like Blaster Dark ride line into Garmor, and you just poop out of the field. Garmor, be praised. Please go into the Hound Razors at some point. Yeah, Ride Chain, I think is a little bit better than these two are gonna dance around forever, I swear to God. Forerunner is a little bit more generic, so it's a little bit better, but I think like Ride Chain gives you some better effects, and if it weren't for Ride Chain, we probably wouldn't have the Ride deck right now. A little gimmicky because you have to top deck into your pieces, and it made you have to run like 4 copies of each card back in the day, but I like it. We'll put it right below Forerunner for now. Cross Rides, okay, this was cool. This was like the Forerunner to strides, I guess? I don't know. So Forerunner Shieldfisher Dragon. Basically, this was evolving your main Vanguard. For example, this guy over the other Fan Blaster. MLB was sort of pseudo cross ride and like so on and so forth. You basically like ride the guy over the guy, gets more power. And I noticed I don't have any A tiers yet, so we're gonna leave it there because we're goated now. Well, like, out of everything right now, it's probably A tier. It was a little gimmicky, so it's kind of like Ride Chain, but that gimmick basically gave you a permanent defensive buff on top of whatever other skills you had, and in the long game, back in the day, this was super impressive. Now it's a little bit better. Case in point, I still haven't unlocked the true potential of Shieldfisher Dragon yet, but I still rock MLB from time to time, and it is one of my favorite decks of all time. We'll leave it in A tier just because MLB exists. Lower than special or stuff? Okay. Persona Blast. I should care more about things that are Persona related. Basically, discarding a copy of your Vanguard in order to activate an ability. Once again, same kind of thing as Mega Blast, where you have to dedicate your entire deck to this concept. If you don't top into those pieces, you're kind of screwed, so you have to dedicate a lot of your deck to consistency things like that, Great Thieves your hand or whatever. I will say it's better than Mega Blast just because it's more consistent to get more copies of your Grade 3 guy, especially nowadays, but it's like Mega Blast but better. Probably better than Special Intercept, honestly. I'm keeping this up here for Vergly, I swear to God. Limit Break! Hold on, where's Legion? These are two of my favorite things in the game. Limit Break especially, it still is back in decks like Greedon and other Dark State decks. Limit Break is essentially a state that you receive once you're at 4 damage, and because of that, like regardless of how the effects activate, Mind Games, same exact same with Legion. Legion's a little bit easier to get around because your opponent can just stay on grade 2 forever and you'll never get to do your Legion thing, just like Strides. But Limit Break, you have to think the whole time. As soon as you round one of these boys, your opponent's gonna be like, oh, do I just keep you at 3? Do I just keep you at 3 the whole game and like just try to hit double crits on my Vanguard? That's the only way I can win the game without you going nuts so bananas. And meanwhile, Limit Break players like, okay, cool. Just give me one. Give me one, please. Please give me just one. Again, there was like a couple things to this that you had to run for consistency's sake. Like there was grade 1s, grade 2s early Vanguard that basically gave you a damage that healed itself. But like in general, I think Limit Break was one of the most skilled formats in the game. Just because that whole game of cat and mouse of, you want to hit me? I dare you. I dare you, but don't crit me, please. It was just like the most fun format of Vanguard. Second most being Legion. I mean, I already said that. It's a little harder to do this one because you have to be on grade 3, but just the fact that when you go into Legion, you're basically able to return 4 cards from your drops on the deck. Mind blown. What cool things can you do with this? You could add another copy of your Legion and your mate back to deck to guarantee the Legion loop continues. You could add triggers back to deck so you can just keep on activating triggers. You can activate Perfect Guards back to deck so you can keep on activating Perfect Guards. You can keep on adding your pieces back to deck that are important so you can draw them again. The possibilities are endless, and it does take a lot of skill to really decide which of these 4 units return to deck at any point in time. So Legion, absolutely one of the most skilled formats of the game. It's just a little undermined by Limit Break, the fact that your opponent has to be on grade 3, so it's a lot easier to mitigate than Limit Break of just cat and mouse. I dare you to hit me to 4. That's all. We have Ultimate Break. It's a Limit Break, but it's a bad Limit Break. This is just being at 5 damage. We're gonna put you over Cross Ride. Same thing, but instead of 4, it's 5. A lot of times these Ultimate Breaks will also be a Cross Ride, so it does go hand in hand with Cross Rides. It's a good thing to neighbors. But because that's just like another Cross Ride and another Breaks, there's a fusion of the two. So yeah, I can see it going here. You can go in the middle, that's fine. That said, 5 damage is a lot easier to mitigate than 4 damage. Because either way, you're going to be at that threshold. And like, if you know it's Ultimate Break deck, you're probably not going to Limit Break the beginning. It's still going to be the same thing of stay at 3 double crit. So either of those formats, you're basically looking at just filling your deck with a bunch of crits and saying, here we go, this will work eventually. Where's your PGs? PGs go up top. I'm sorry, this just defines everything. Is how you know when to Perfect Guard. Moving on, Break Rise. This is another thing. This goes kind of with Ultimate Break, but I'm gonna put in Legion because I freaking love Legion so much. This was just Limit Break, but you ride on top of a guy to get a thing. So often you had this Break Ride ability of, oh, when you ride on top of this, I'll Limit Break. Say you do a cool thing. The abilities, I'm trying to remember how powerful they are on top of my mind without overthinking things, but pretty much it's cool. There's a lot of gimmicks you can do with it, like actually this into this, doing a Break Ride into a Legion was like the format for a while. Stay on a grade 3, and when you're ready to do your Ultimate Legion combo, boom, here's a cool Break Ride effect, boom, return 4 cards to deck, do a cool thing. This is an enabler. This is, I'll go on top of Tyri because it's a format enabler. There's a lot of cool gimmicks you can do with it, but it's not as cool as like Limit Break itself. It's not as defining as just having the effect. It's giving something the effect, if that makes sense. And like honestly, if you think about it, it's because you want to go into one of these Break Ride units first, that kind of goes into the whole concept of having a main grade 3 for things like D format and Generation Stride cards. So top of A, that's where it belongs. Maybe low S, top of A. I feel like Limit Break itself has to be S, and then like other things involving Limit Break would go under it. That makes sense to me. Lock. Not gonna do that. Lock is a cool mechanic. The ultimate form of control where you basically are completely restricting your opponent's board. You take a circle, lock it, and it doesn't exist. Thing on the thing can't do anything, and you can't place anything on that thing. So really cool. A lot of cool combos you can do with it, of course, like the whole Messiah of unlocking to draw cards, or Mega Lock that just says you don't get to play the game. Slink Joker. I'm the Gear Chronicle guy. As much as I hate to say it, because like lock is an annoying mechanic. It is an annoying mechanic, but it's freaking good. So good it even came back recently with Arstaria and Lyrical Joker. I just keep on calling the deck. B tier, I guess. We'll see what other control stuff comes up. I don't want to put in A tier. A tier reserve for stuff that's freaking awesome. Crossride can go down here. Why not? We'll hang out with Crossride. We'll hang out. It's a good form of control. It's just, I don't know how high to rank it. We'll keep it like high B. Sure, that feels right. I don't know. Cross Break Ride. Actually, this is just Break Ride, but more specific. There's usually a lot of cool effects with it, and once again, it goes in the whole Break Ride thing and the whole Limit Break thing, which I freaking love. But the fact that you're basically looking at Cross Ride plus Break Ride equals this. God, are we seriously moving Cross Ride down to C tier just because other things are better Cross Rides? Are we seriously moving things down just because they're better Cross Rides? Okay, sure, why not? Actually, that's fine. We'll just same logic with Limit Break. This is the enabler. These are things that send off it. This enabler, these are things that send off it. There you go. Moving on, Quintet Wolves. First F tier, D tier, F tier, D tier. I don't want to keep Persona. Should be special Thunderstep, so it makes me feel weird when I do this. This is a bad perfect card. However, it's a bad perfect card. At least you top 5 cards of the deck, which enables this a lot easier. So in that sense, it's really cool. But like because it exists just for that. No. I mean, nowadays, I'm sure maybe you'll hit your Overtrigger with it, and then that's a huge freaking card, but it's just a bad perfect card. Just run perfect cards. Alright. Y'all already know what time it is. We are down here into G format. Let's do this. Let's do this. And this. And this. And this. Alright, I should probably talk about these things. So, Generation Break is just like Break Ride, just like Limit Break. It's an enabler, but it's a very easy thing to enable because all you gotta do is stride to activate it. So honestly, you can go up here in S tier because it's free. Basically, this is just a skill that activates when you stride over the thing with the thing to activate the whole thing. You already know. I am the Gear Chronicle guy. I will always say, thing with Crojet picture, top tier. That said, let's talk about the things that are actually enabled by this as I maybe move these around. Probably not though. Stride is, of course, your grade for it is your thing, the extra deck that you ride over the Vanguard for a second, then goes shows back over there. Evolution. Yeah, you get a cool skill. You get a huge buff. Usually you add your 13k to your 15k from the stride to have a 28 swing, which is cool on its own. Nowadays that matches a trigger for nothing, but you also get an extra drive check, so more chances to hit that power, so you can do cool things. And like I said, strides usually give you some super broken bananas effect because it only lasts for one turn. Honestly, like, we're keeping Limit Break over it. We will keep Limit Break over stride, ladies and gentlemen. That's just how much I freaking love this format. But G-Guard is a defensive stride, which adds a lot of versatility to your G-Zone. You now have the ability to play something during your opponent's turn, so you know what? This feels more important to me. It's limited, you can only have 4 G-Guards face up in your stride deck, but it always means you don't have to run 4 Generation Guards. You can run as many as you want. You just have to be a little bit more meticulous about which ones are used at which points of time, which is really cool when you get to things like, of course, I'm gonna go Chrono Jet every single time. Head around Dragon. Return a card to bottom of the deck. They shuffle spray called card and stuff. Disrupts battle. Mess with a lot of combos, and a thing you can do on their turn. That's insane. Vanguard is very much a play things on your turn. Your opponent plays things on their turn kind of game, with the exception of things like guarding. So unlocking a thing in the guard step that lets you do maybe some other shenanigans, freaking peak. I'm gonna put this in A tier. It's helped define the game, but I mean, when we get to the ride line, this is a precursor to ride line. You remove 2 cards from your hand and are guaranteed to ride into the next grade, which helps basically to redefine how you mulligan your cards. You just want to keep a 1, 2, 3 in hand to guarantee your smooth rides up to grade 3 where you can start going into your thing. But now with G-Assist, your hands can be a little wonkier even after the mulligan, and you can like mulligan for the piece that you want instead of the piece that you need to ride into. I mean, this would belong in S tier, but like I said, it's kind of a precursor to something else that's probably gonna be in S tier. So move down here in A. Look, this is how we're looking so far. How are we looking? Jeep Recon Stride? No, Jeep Recon Stride. Stride is... Yeah, Jeep Recon Stride. This is the enabler, and this is the... You get to do cool things. Which, I forgot about that logic. I don't want to put Stride as a A tier, though. Well, maybe. We'll see what happens. Moving on, Ultimate Stride. There could go in A tier. Let's do Cross-Rad Strides. Do Break Rad Strides. This is Stride where you have to do Persona Blast, discard the Vanguard, and you probably have enough bananas of skill. Because it's like Stride Junior, but you can do more things with it. We'll keep it A tier. It's the same logic that we keep with everything else. Alright, moving on to... I guess V format already. Wow, we are moving through this, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, if you enjoy this kind of content, leave a like. Maybe consider subscribing. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, tier lists are fun. So if you guys want to see more tier lists, you know what to do. Imaginary gifts and gifts 2. So what we're gonna do here, because they put both out as options, without looking, we're just gonna do A and S. Maybe move down. No. I'm gonna redo this whole thing later because this looks really weird. Imaginary gifts are a new gimmick for that reboot where when you ride your grade 3, you're gonna get a special marker, and those markers come in 3 different varieties. Either the force marker that gives you power, axle marker that gives you an extra rear guard circle, so you get an extra swing, and protect, which gives you a free perfect guard essentially, which debatably is the most broken, but in terms of doing this, they also balance it out a little bit by giving you different varieties of Vanguard, just different power level. This was really interesting. I know a lot of people hate V format in general because this exists, so maybe we'll move them down here. But like the fact that like it put a new spin on the game, that's why I'm putting it up here. It put a new spin on the game. Other gimmicks, cool, sure. Put it at top of B tier though. It belongs to top of B tier. Gift 2, the reason I'm putting it 1 tier higher, we'll just be like, we'll chill here by cross rides, I don't freaking know. The fact that this gave you more versatility, now you have options when you ride into your first grade 3. So like for your force marker, instead of getting power, maybe you want to give a crit, which is good because it makes you have constant pressure, but it's bad because it restricts the fact that you only want to ride a couple times because you can't do the stack list. Protect 2 is like a weird force marker, I guess. Then XL2 is the one that probably broke the game in half because not only do you get an extra circle, but now in exchange for getting more power, you get slightly more power, but you also get to draw a card. So anytime you ride a grade 3, you draw a card. Really cool. One of the best decks in the game. Abuse the crap out of this, and I freaking love it because you guys already know how I am with Night Riddles, hashtag Gear Moon Circus. That said though, I can't really rank it S tier just because there's a lot of hate for this format, even though they brought a lot to the game, so we'll shoot an A and B. You know what, you guys, there's a lot of stuff happening. You guys go C tier. Draw PGs, that's a C tier if I ever saw it. So this is like a perfect guard, but you attach it to a trigger, and this also kind of went along with the 30k crits. We'll have them side by side. Like, I like the draw PGs better than the crits ones because they basically take up the same slot, both being Sentinels, and you can only have 4 Sentinels in your deck. Chill an A. No, there's too many things in A. B tier. Like, so basically this gave you a little more structure into how you built your decks, since you now no longer have to dedicate grade 1 slots to your perfect cards, that you can combine them with triggers that will also give you bonuses when you drive check them. Solid on that. It's just a pick your poison thing. Like, I like traditional PGs, especially now that we have the D format ones where you don't have to discard if you have 0 cards in hand or whatever, but it just gives you a lot of options. I like that. Orders. This is one of my favorite things. This goes in like high A tier. And it's gonna chill out next to. We're putting Legion at top. Why is that sounds right? There we go. Orders are basically spells if you play any other game. You get once per turn unless you play Zorga, and basically you're able to activate a card from your hands and do a thing without playing a unit. Gives you a lot more versatility. Now the fact that your deck is no longer just 50 creatures in a sense, and of course they all do special things to help you and benefit you in different ways. Once again, Stoicheia. That's all I need to say. Do we have set orders down here? No, we don't. I don't care. Set orders, field spell, chills out on the whole time and gives you a benefit, like this banana man that lets you guard from the field or whatever. And speaking of guarding, we also have blitz orders. Once again, if they had these split between the two, I put like orders down here, blitz orders up here with G guards, because it's the same thing. It gives you something you can do during your guard step besides guarding. So orders just add a whole new dimension to the game, just like G assist, just like Legion, just like Imaginary Gifts. But I think it's the best of the best because it's still chilling out today. A lot of decks are dependent on orders, especially in the modern format. Speaking of modern format, we are finally here in D format. I'm putting D Legion. Where's Legion? Right here, so you can be there. Cool. D Legion is a more, well, I don't know why I'm starting with the last one, but D Legion is like a more fair version of Legion. Now you can no longer just spam out a bunch of triggers or continuously return your perfect cards and Vanguard deck. Like, it restricts the number of cards you return, so more fair. Takes away your Persona Ride ability. It brings you back to the glory days, but it's a more fair version of it. B format belongs. Cool. Anyways, speaking of Ride deck, this is S tier for sure, because that might honestly be better than Perfect Guard. Now, Perfect Cards are too freaking good. Perfect Cards are literally too good. This, like I alluded to before, GSS is basically a complete reboot of the game. You now no longer have to worry about your mulligans to make sure you have pieces right in your hands, because you essentially have that 1, 2, and 3 in a separate deck to decide, and like every turn you just discard a card to write up to your next one. So literally redid how we think about this game today in terms of deck building, because you no longer have to worry about your ratios. Once again, why does this should be a picture of Bastion. This should just be a picture of Bastion, because grade 3 deck. Yeah, you no longer have to worry about mulliganing for your grades. You're now looking for pieces, which changes the mindset of how you want. Honestly, like, I could put it at the very top. It is one of the best things that's happened in this game. And it's a good thing it's only in standard format, because good God, what would happen if we did this in premium? Maybe comment below. This seems like a video idea. I don't know, I haven't played premium too much anymore, but that seems like something that I should go over. Just what are some fun deck ideas that we could do if we had to ride deck in premium? Keep that in mind for later. Anyways, moving on to Persona Rise. I already saw them. It's like A or B probably somewhere in here. So this is kind of like your gift gimmick, your stride generation break gimmick. GP, you can go down here, you can chill. Same kind of thing, your enablers. Basically how Persona rides work is when you ride your grade 3 over the same grade 3, you're able to get a bonus of drawing a card and gaining some power to your front row. Really solid, gives you good boost, makes your numbers hit, which is great for, you now have a higher trigger guard value and much higher power ceilings in this format. Again, you can mix and max it into premium. I mean, I haven't really built too much besides that deck, which is super fun, but just have to find a way to make sure you guarantee your Persona Rise in the hand and then still be able to stride for the power, and then you get your G-unit, I guess. I don't know. This feels like, this could go up here. This is definitely better than Cross Ride or Break Ride. Maybe not Legion, but like, it's a good enabler. It's a universal enabler, and once again, this is a format defining thing because Persona Rise work. Recency bias makes it up here. No, the fact that it's just an enabler makes it down here somewhere. But the fact that it has Persona in the name, and I have a Haru figure and Haru Best Girl, I have to put it a little higher. That's all there is to it. Open triggers. I did a whole video on these. So, that's what the community thinks. Busted in half. This is the PG or GG card. When you rip it, you get 10 bajillion power, and that is literally unguardable unless you got one of these good in your hand. So, yeah, that's it. They have some really cool effects. It is defensively also a miracle card. So if your opponent's going wombo combo or like super 10 bajillion attack deck or whatever, hitting one of these is kind of nice because it turns off the turn. They also have some really cool game-breaking effects that you can either play ones for each deck, and there are literally some that should straight out be banned. I'm looking at you, Drag Beta. I'll say it's a legacy tier. I'll be nice to keep it low, just for you guys, but honestly, aside from the fact it's a PG or GG mechanic and it's broken in half, I kind of like over triggers. They brought a lot to the game, for better or for worse. We'll just leave it at that. I'm still keeping it below lock, which I freaking hate, so you should thank me for that. Heal Guardians, this could be an F tier, I guess, I don't know. Maybe D. This feels better than a Quintet, well, at the very least. These are more trigger things, kind of like draw perfect cards and 30k crits that give you things. In this case, it's a 10k attack, 15k shield. 15k shield? 10k shield. I'll have a picture of one on the screen right now, and you guys can tell me in comments below. They're heal triggers that have cool effects, and the fact that the grade 3s makes them better because G format exists, and you want to discard grade 3s for your strides. And the fact that this also exists for G format means it also goes up here, just because you could also use them for your generation guard. So, very versatile. I just personally, like I said, don't have the most experience in this format anymore, so I'm just gonna chill that here. They'll be kissing ride deck. They'll be best friends with Overtrigger, and that's all you're gonna get from me. Moving on to Stride Crest, this is going in D tier. This is what Bushwood decided to give us when they said that we could get old counter decks back, but they can't get the ability to Persona Ride. Basically what this does is it gives you more or less a set order that just chills out the entire game and says that you get a couple gimmicks. One of those being you have to stride. No, I guess you're required to have a stride cast in order to stride. Sure. Usually some sort of power-up gimmick based on your generation break, how many cards you have face up in your G-zone, and some sort of skill that when you stride your Vanguard, you do a thing. Really cool, but I don't think it's necessary. Like, the only thing that's necessary is the power-up, because we don't have a Persona Ride thing or Imaginary Gift thing for stride decks, but like, honestly, the way they can make this fair and balanced without giving us Stride Quest is just say that, like, when you stride your Vanguard, it acts as a Persona Ride, you just give your front row plus 10 till that turn. That sounds better to me than saying the more you stride, the more powerful your front row gets. Like I said, the crest abilities usually are kind of along the lines of what your Vanguard is going to be doing anyways when you stride over it, so it just feels a little redundant, kind of unnecessary. Honestly, we can put in F tier, but it has to do with striding, so It's gotta go up. Underneath Mega Blast though, sure, why not? Regardless, piece, this is the order, but it is a good order, and it changes how you play the game. Cool thing about Regardless pieces is that you only get one per deck, just like this Ace Unit here, thing right here, so I'll probably put them right next to each other. No, Ace Unit will go lower, because there's only one choice. This, you could have anything though. They give us basically one of these every set nowadays, and they all do different effects. Being offensive ones that give you power-ups, draw piece ones kind of like this one that lets you add more grade 3s to your hands, defensive ones that basically act as blitz orders, ones that are more versatile, like one of my favorites, Radiance Caliber, that lets you either draw cards or get some resources back. It adds a lot to the game. I don't know if it adds a lot more Limit Break is. I am not going to replace Limit Break, I'm sorry. They can chill here, you have more point than energy cards to me. Energies, there's no resource. Ours Quintet, well, just gonna be chilling all of them. That's hilarious. The game is basically fueled by things like Counter Blast, where you have to take damage, Soul Blast, where you have to recruit cards in your soul, I guess Persona Blast, wherever that one went. There's a lot of resources to the game, which is cool for a thing which is all creature based. I mean, you gotta think about it like things like Limit Break, you have to be at a certain damage level. Things like Generation Break, you have to be able to stride. Break Ride, you have to ride over a certain unit, or Gift, where you have to ride your grade 3 or whatever. This is kind of like Gift, if you think about it. It's just gonna chill out with Gift. It's another resource for the game, but this one's free. This comes out just by drawing a card every turn. That's if you think about it. It is a little bit more restricting because it is strictly in D format. You can't get energy crests in premium, I guess. I don't freaking know. I don't know if that would change the game, honestly. Like, I built premium decks without energy stuff. Just like take out the card that gives you energy and put in another cool premium piece. It feels good, but it doesn't feel imaginary gift good. We'll do that. Alright, moving on to the last two cards. Divine Ace Unit, I already said it's kind of like this, but I'm going to put it on lower tier. I haven't tested these out yet, but the fact that you can only have one of these in deck makes it kind of like an Over Trigger or Regardless piece, but it's one specific card per deck right now. Not as good as Over Trigger. We'll just leave it at that. Honestly, I haven't tested them yet. I've seen a lot of Japanese lists that run them, but I have not yet, and we'll find out soon because the video is going live after I get my stuff from Festival Collection. Shout out 50 cards. You guys are goated. If my channel ever becomes special, freaking reach out, what up? But yeah, it's good. Probably. I don't freaking know. It's gonna go in D tier just... I'm putting a high D tier. It's gonna go in D tier just because I haven't played one yet. That's all there's to it. Divine Skills. High B, I guess? How do I compare it to anything else? This was a format definer for, well, D format now, I guess, but like anything could run it, really. It's a premium aspectable thing. It's basically a once per game skill that you get, and like you could only ever do it once. So even if you ride another card with a Divine Skill or whatever, you already use your Divine Skills. Sucks to suck. That said, some of the best decks in the game right now do have Divine Skills. Things like this sick Mofo, I guess Levy Dress. Is Levy Dress still here? Levy Dress was here at some point. And Blackmire people like for some reason. These are all Divine Skills, but I mean, this might just be another thing like Flavor of the Week. You know, it used to be really good Strides, you know, it used to be really good Limit Breaks, you know, it used to be really good Legion. Might be one of those things, but at the same time, these skills can be pretty freaking good. Like, this one literally saves your life one time. Or Blackmire is like a delete, the better version of Block. Just stuff like that. So, like, I don't know. I wouldn't put you up like SA, but you can be high B. You can be chilling. We'll put you over D Legion. So that is everything. I'm gonna look over this real quick, see if anything needs to be changed around, because it feels a little weird. That feels right to be at the top. That feels right to be at the top. I'm gonna stop doing this so you don't see me seeing this every single time I look at a card. Clash Cut. Okay, that feels right. So, this is my tier list. I'm basically trying to keep it so, like, the things that really help define the game stay on top, and, like, the things that were, like, offsprings of that and just gave you more options and whatnot just go a little crisply lower until you get to the fact that why do quintet walls exist except specifically for Legion? But that's my list. Tell me what is yours. Like I said, I left a link to the original one down below if you guys want to check that out and do it yourself. Make sure to comment below. Show me just what your thoughts are and, of course, how freaking stupid I am. But that is all for today. Thank you guys for watching. Like the third time when I said this, if you enjoyed this kind of video, make sure to leave a little like. If you want to help support me on this channel, make sure to drop me a tip on Ko-Fi. It helped me afford stuff like this and a freaking light that's been on this whole time. And I don't know, all these cards I'm gonna have to get in the future. Oh my god, set 9 is freaking stupid, and I'm so sad that I was only able to get the Berkeley stuff for Festival Collection. And of course, subscribe if I haven't said that yet. just do a subscribe button. It'd be great. Got a lot more card gaming coach content coming for you. We're in the middle of posting my huge trip from this last month to the New York area, and of course, much more stuff planned for the future. So, thank you guys for watching. You guys, Square Bunny here is my boy, and always embrace the infinite. If I just turn off the lights, that's how we're gonna end this. Bye bye, ladies and gentlemen.